My name's Jess Benjamin. I'm a ceramic artist. I was born in Cozad, Nebraska. I received my BA from Hastings College. I was originally a communications, public relations major, and at the liberal college I was forced to take an art class. I originally took glass blowing. It was too hot in the studio for me, so I took ceramics and immediately fell in love with the material. From there, I assisted Jim Kaneko. I worked for him for 3.5 years in his Omaha studio where I fabricated and did all the daily grunt work. At my time at Kaneko, I was introduced to John Balistreri. He's the professor at Bowling Green State University. I really liked working with him. He provided a lot of great feedback to me. So I went to graduate school at Bowling Green State University in 2008. Received my MFA, and came back to Omaha in 2009, where I currently reside. I spent about a year looking for a studio space, and after about 9 months of looking on the market and looking at over 60 properties, I found my current studio, which is about 4,300 square feet. When I was looking at properties, I looked in several different areas. I looked in South Omaha, the Old Market, North Omaha, Midtown, and then eventually I discovered Benson. I had been coming down to Benson for probably over 7 or 8 years for the local music scene, and thought the area was looking to turn around a little bit. At that point in time, waiting room and then I think mix was about the only 2 spaces that were really thriving. So I bought this property in 2009, spent about 6 months renovating the property, did everything from stripping all of the old carpet, tile. I tore down every wall in the space, spent close to 3 weeks doing sheetrock work, patching holes. So the property was extremely raw, but it was unlike other properties in other areas where I felt like this area was going to be a place where I could be around other people of a similar age of me. And that's currently what's happening down in Benson. It's a lot of the 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds that are acquiring property down here and then investing in renovating the space and turning it into a district that is unlike any other district in Omaha. My current artwork focuses on water usage in the Great Plains area. It's not only restricted to the Great Plains. My concept actually goes entirely more global on the issue of water and the issue of drought. Since my MFA schooling in 2007-2008, I've been researching water, drought, and how agriculture, industry, and people in small towns and people in larger cities utilize this most valuable resource of ours. When I was approached for the Benson project, I was currently working on an antique water faucet series. I made a couple different pieces that resembled this one. And when I was approached and I was asked about making seating, or what was originally supposed to be a bench, I thought, well, ceramics really isn't the best material for a bench, and thought simply that because the focus of the garden is to retain water, that I could somehow pull in what my work is about, or at least my interest in the current object, which is the water pump. So for the bases of these pieces, I was looking at the bottom part of a water faucet, of how just using simple repetitive lines, people are going to be able to figure out that it's probably water related. And then my current color scheme, I've been focusing on colors that help explain drought. This is what the drought monitor people use. They use white, yellow, peach, orange, red, and maroon to basically cartographically document drought. And most of us can recognize red and yellow as being a hazard. That's why our fire hydrants are painted that color. It makes them very, very visible so that people understand this is a source of water, or this is then connected to fire, which I think associates well with drought as well. So the color choices that I'm working with those I'm hoping that the public is going to be able to associate. You know, this is an important object, or they can connect it to, say, the fire hydrants that were just freshly painted as well this year. So the first part in making a ceramic piece is obviously to work with clay, and that material is mostly water. It's fairly malleable. Once the piece has been fabricated to its form, these particular pieces dried for close to 2 months, and then they were fired in a small electric kiln to this bisquing stage is where it's currently at. It's got this pinkish color. Originally it's a grayish color, but kind of as you go through the ceramic process, the colors are going to change on it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm putting I've already put on my first coat of color. In the grand scheme of things, this piece is going to be red in these areas and then yellow in this particular band area. So I've already glazed the yellow part. I've put a sign strip, which is a liquid latex, over the top of the yellow. That way I protect this yellow and I can go ahead and put my red over the top of everything and not worry about the two colors bleeding. So this is the first coat of the red glaze. All of these colors are formulated by myself. In ceramics you can purchase already pre-made colors, but that kind of limits a lot of your palette. In ceramics, we've got a multitude of temperatures that we can work at, and when we're working at a variety of temperatures, we can achieve a different surface effect. Some people use slips, some use terra sigillatas, other people are using stains or engobes or glazes, and through all of those we can get the right effect according to what our work is. When you're working with drought, it's often hard to make work that's extremely shiny, because that's kind of counterintuitive to talk about drought when something is really shiny and in your face. So for the past 6 months I've been reformulating a new glaze so that I can get a satin color. It's still very bright, very poppy, very contemporary, but it's not the gloss that a lot of people will think of or what a lot of people will associate with ceramics. And I think having just a little more satin appearance to the color makes it a little bit more approachable to people in general.